put them in there.
Wow.
And I took the lady out.
Good.
I took the lady out of another one and put another lady in there because I liked hers. And then I changed all kinds of colors. There was a huge sign on that wall, which I thought would be great, but I just took it out because
Great.
I liked it. And then what else? That's about it. Let's see. Let me find this picture here under scent. Come on. There we go.
I like the shadows of the laundry.
Yeah, I like the laundry too.
Yeah. Now, if you look closely, right under the man above, he's got the T-shirt in his hand.
Yep.
That little shadow right below the T-shirt, right onto the other shirts. I did that shadow.
Oh,
Oh my
bravo.
gosh.
It probably would have a lot harder edges than that, but I just threw that. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with Photoshop.
Wow.
Yeah. And we can do all kinds more to it, so we'll see. Okay, so how about we start off with a drawing, and let me mute everyone. Sorry, I better record here too, huh?
Yeah.
So I guess Hector isn't here, huh? Does anyone know about Hector's?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are, okay. All right, Vector, record to the cloud, and let me, participants, there we go. Okay, I'm muting everybody now. Okay. So yeah, just because I liked this photograph, but there are some things that, you know, if I were to do this as a painting for sale, I took out a whole bunch of things and added a whole bunch of things where it's pretty much impossible to know. That's why you can see this is a stock image, you know, and it's not a very good quality. It doesn't have real high resolution, but I don't need that. And I photoshopped all kinds of things. You can probably see that the colors in the back on the lady in the background walking along the street, those colors they're a little saturated because, you know, I popped those in there, and a lot of the laundry I put in there. So anyway, fun stuff. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah,
And
it's great, Rob.
thank you. And so let's just do a value study first. I'll draw it out in pencil, and then we'll paint it in with black or any dark color you like. Okay, and let's see now. So I'm just going to go along the side here and decide where my side is, and then about where my bottom, something like that. Looks something about like that. We got the lady around here. Of course, some shadows on the ground here. See, when you break this whole painting down, it really falls into like a big letter L, doesn't it? We've got this brown along the bottom. So I could have made her a little bit bigger. Something like that. I love this long door too. So I'm gonna add a little bit more on here. That I love the door, and I love the aqua color over there. So maybe that door will be here. And I'll put a couple of these things around here. And we got the lady somewhere in there. Okay. And then that grate. big old something. Well, I'm just having to add all kinds of stuff onto here. What do you call this? Balcony. And then looks like I need to add more onto the side here. Of course, you know, you don't have to do it exactly like the photo. I think, you know, depending on how much of this stuff you want to add. So you don't have to add all that. Something around there. And I think I'm going to give this a little more height too. That happens. You just have to. All right, somewhere in there. Now here's a little thing here. If you take this line at the base of the building, see how it's going uphill, right? Try not to get it going really uphill, right? But try to just determine about where that is going and uphill. And it looks like it's going about to where this brown thing starts. This brown on the wall here, brown paint. It's going uphill about like that, I'm guessing. And if you take a lot of the main lines that are going in, see how they're going downhill up here? So that tells you if you were to actually connect those lines, that the horizon line is approximately here. It's approximately, you know, maybe just above the lady's head, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it can kind of help you. In other words, you need it, by knowing where the horizon line is, you know that you're going to catch quite a bit of the underside of this balcony. And if these buildings are set up in a grid, which they probably are, then this balcony right here, the line of it, like this part that comes down, will probably come to this point too. It's basically 1 point perspective. So if you're looking how to get this little part right here, that's how you do it. And you notice I'm not really specific about it. But like there would be the under part of the balcony. And then of course it casts that shadow, and then you get all the laundry, and that's all fun. Whatever. It's fun stuff in there. I love all these interesting little pipes and things, and there's just wires going everywhere, and you can do whatever you like. Maybe these doors are a little bit smaller, aren't they? Something more like, well, maybe I made my person a little bit too big. But actually, you know, we're really just going for value right now, so it doesn't matter if you're not perfect. Well, that can kind of help. Maybe she's about that big. All right. So really, we're going for values. Before we do that, let's just maybe squint your eyes and look at this building over here in the background. And if this comes up to there, I'm just drawing a silhouette of the shadows. Like it kind of goes up like this, up. And down. And up. That's pretty good. I'm not going to put any real detail in there. I know we do have some cars, and you can leave those out if you want. I just treat them like big boxes. Like this, like a box that goes back in space like that. Just boxes. And then we've got that person in front of them. Something about there. And even the sidewalk here will, I mean, if it's parallel to these things, then it should go up to this point. So something like that. And then of course we have all the shadows. And we got our guy up here. Try not to put him dead center. You'll want to, okay? Whatever it is in people that wants to put everything in the center, you'll want to. So do have a door over here. I'm going to put him over here. Something like that's fine. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. Let's get some values going. So I think I'll just leave the wall white and go for, there it is, like a pretty medium value in the sky. Good place to start. Something in there. And I look around and I try to find out, well, yeah, maybe as you can see, the shadow next to this is a bit darker than the sky. So I'm gonna go a little bit darker, and I'm just using, I have this color called neutral tint, which it's like a purpley black. I mean, I just had it, so that's what I use. I'll use anything, to do a value study, I'll use any value. There's some neat little shadows on the ground here. Maybe up and around that car. What color you use does not matter. All that matters is your values at this point. A couple windows in there. So I just got dark pants on. You know, it's a pretty similar value to the one on the ground. So then because I have that on my brush, let's do it. All these shadows. Bring a couple up onto the sidewalk. I love to take a couple up onto the wall. Totally up to you. And you know, how about the shadow under here? Probably have to go darker. Yeah, we will have to go darker with the shadow, but let's just hit some. A couple of shadows in there. A couple little ditties up there. He's got a lot of, there we go. He's got really dark around him. I'm just going to cover the whole thing first and then come back and blast the dark later. Any sort of windowsill or door or whatever is going to have a shadow in the top and sometimes in the side too. Something like that maybe. And this one gets really dark. But already, it's already explaining itself. Look at that. I love it when a painting, I can start seeing it right away. A couple little things on her. Now, it gets kind of, I love how this shadow's all broken up by these, the laundry and whatever. So, wouldn't it be great to do something like that on the top? Or maybe there's a flag, or maybe there's something casting a little bit of a shadow over the top, and, you get little broken up shadows up here or something. Who knows? I don't know, that's just an idea. Just dark stuff there. And if you want to throw in any sort of little architectural detail, go ahead. But usually in the value study, I don't pay too much attention to it. But this little stuff, this little arrow sign over there. And then let's go for some real dark darks. So I'm pretty much going. I'm going really dark on this. Let's get a really dark. I love these little architectural details. They kind of come out here on the side like that. See how those just shift the whole thing into a whole new values scale? Here, I should zoom in on this a little bit, huh? There we go. And make sure you get a nice dark one around him. And make him pop. Sometimes in the top of these doorways and things, and in here, get some darks. Maybe some at the base of her feet, under cars. There's something in the window right here. That'd be fine. A little air conditioner. Doors. Oh, these aren't too bright, so I'm going to take the edge off those. And even this value of this aqua over here is, and they'll go with some really loud colors on these buildings, so. You can do whatever you like. If you threw pure orange on this building, it would totally work. In fact, I'm looking at a building way off in the background behind the lady walking along the edge, along the side street there. And there's an orange building back there. You could probably throw a pink building in there and it would work. So that's pretty good for a value study. I don't think it needs much more than that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go for a color study now. And I'll just go down here. Try to get this. Start off with this L. Somewhere in there. And then again, I'll draw like the silhouette of the shadow over here. Person's here. And if you need to move your person or move anything, just do so as you see fit. I like to just put things in boxes because mostly all I'm concerned about when I'm doing these things are the size and the shape and the basic shape, and then the of course the color. One thing I really like about this subject is all these big giant areas to just let paint float around. Like the wall, the sky, all the brown. There's just big areas to. I look for that. Or if I see something I like, I'll try to make it so there's big areas in there. I love the plants growing out the side too. That's kind of fun. And the little architectural details. Etc. And the lady.
Rob,
Yeah.
lady's ending up right under the man. Do you like that?
No, I don't. Thank you. How did I do it right? I did it better on this one, huh? Maybe I should put her over about here. And then maybe move him over. Man there. Something like that. I'm not leaving that door out though. I like that door. Okay. So just for color. So that'll be something we'll really want to think about in the finish. So all right, let's take some blue, maybe ultramarine. Something like that. And while that's drying, I see, let's make an aqua out of Prussian blue or any sort of green blue you have. If you have a phthalo blue, that'll work really well. And then add a little bit of yellow to it. I would use a lemon yellow, because it would be what I would call like a blue-green. So the cooler yellow would probably be better, I think. So what we got here? That's a little on the green side. It's almost pure Prussian blue, isn't it? Wow. Let's see. I like that. It's gonna go a little bit lighter. Just take a little bit off. Something like that. Prussian blue with very little yellow in it. We've got, there's two ways to do this shadow over here. You can put all the colors in it first and then throw the shadow over it, which totally makes sense. Or you could take the shadow and put it in there and then add some color to it. So, doesn't really matter. How about we just hit a few colors in there first? Well, I see a blue in there, an orange in there. You can put any colors you want on those buildings. I got some orange. Remember, when we throw the shadow over it, it'll totally desaturate it. So some blue. Etc. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to make up a brown for the door and some of that paint on the wall. Just red, yellow, and blue. And then of course add more red to it, and that'll make it a redder, because you'll make it gray. So if you put too much blue in it, it'll look too blue. Let's see what, give you a little redder in that. And then the door, pretty much the same color. Vary that if you like. Maybe throw a little more yellow in the door. Totally up to you. This one's way yellower. I don't know, maybe I want this one redder. Got some stuff in there too. Boards. You know, we have, if you have a brown shirt, like maybe one up there, maybe you could put a couple, while it's on your brush. And even this trim looks like it has a little bit of brown in it. Kind of broken and behind this man up here looks kind of a greenish brown, so I just take that same color and add more yellow and blue to it. Still red, yellow, and blue, but I just add more yellow and blue to it. And I get that sort of bronze color. Maybe more, a little more like that. And then make a big shadow color. I'm seeing, for most of the shadows, I'm going to go with a kind of a blue violet. So ultramarine blue and magenta make a good color. If it's too strong for you, then just take a little bit of yellow and add it to that. You see how this looks. And I go right over those colors. And there's some shadows on the ground. And this color in the foreground certainly could go with a bit more blue in that. More of a blue violet. Maybe take that same color a little bit darker. Pop it in the top of that windowsill. Under all this. I'm going to lighten that color up a little bit, just add a little bit of water to it. And with some of these shadows down here, you certainly could go grayer. I mean, this is a much grayer painting than this, so I'm really pushing these colors. Kind of depends on your own instincts if you want to go grayer with it, if you want to go even more saturated than this. And I kind of wanted to bring down some of the shadows from the top there. And then for these darks right under here, just really blast them with straight Prussian blue is what I'm using. In fact, I think I could bring these shadows down a little further. Some of this. Oops. Yeah. Fine with me. And then any other accents you want to put on there are fine. I think the whole wall here, I threw a little bit of that kind of a crazy putrid lime green on it. So I'm going to use mostly lemon yellow with just a touch of Prussian in it. And then really dilute it out. Or just paint that wall green if you want. It's your painting. And up above. You know, I was thinking about doing up above. Getting kind of nuts. Because you can do whatever you want, but I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's try it. I'm going to go with some crazy orange. Because we have this crazy aqua right here, I just went, and I didn't want to put something aqua on the other side, even though I think it kind of would balance. I don't know. But I'm going to go with orange because it's so complementary to this blue right here. Let's just see. Woo. Nuts, huh? You don't need to do that if you don't want to. And I just use Cad Red, Cad Yellow on that. And just to make it kind of fit in a little bit, I'll throw a shadow along this side, and maybe some of that shadow from the top, kind of coming over it a little bit, yeah. Just kind of. Now with the shirts, you can use any colors you want. I actually changed a lot of the colors on those shirts because they were all white. Well, not all of them, but I threw a lot of I changed a lot of those colors. But you can put any colors up there you like. If you think it needs a shot of red, you know, throw some red on there. Some yellow, there's blue. I forgot to put that black right behind the guy. Kind of a big deal. And it's watercolor, you know, it'll dry lighter, so really slam those darks. Anything maybe under the cars. Some little ditties back here. Windows and awnings and windows. Okay, and we got our girl there. Maybe she's wearing like a blue top, I don't know. Shoes. That's about all I do for a color study. I mean, I know some of these values are a little bit bright. Certainly could knock them back, but cars and things in the background. The lady has red pants on, etc. It's kind of a nice little shot of color in all this. And I think that's looking pretty good. And a little more saturation in there. I don't know, maybe I won't go that saturated, but we'll see. And there's my little study. Fun. There's my value study. And there's my color study. Now, a lot of times people just do the color study because really, if I were to take a photograph of this and desaturate it, you know. But we did learn a lot by doing the first one. And I think by doing the second one, you know, it really helps. Now when you go to doing the third one, you're going to be, or the final one, you'll have a lot more.
Hey, Rob, could you put that back a minute, please?
Yeah.
So you see both of them? Oh, thank you so much.
Just joking. Just joking. Just playing with you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see now. Zoom out there. And let me get a piece of paper. Oops, sorry. How long do you need it there?
Oh,
'Cause
God.
I gotta, okay, because I need to get busy. Okay. Now, it's interesting, this is just your standard Arches 140 cold press. But if you look, if you have the same paper, I don't know if I can get a really good light source on it. Yeah, it's hard to see, but one side's a little bit bumpier than the other. And they suggest you work on the smoother side. But, if you like the bumpy side, I use that too, and I get great results on either side. So you do get a little bit rougher on one side. I'm going to go with the rougher side. Even though they say, when they print the arches on the side they want you to paint on. I never could, for a long time I couldn't even figure it out. Then I thought, oh, okay. It's the side where they write their name on it, dummy. So then I thought, I've been using the other side, and I love the other side. I thought this was the good side, darn it. So whatever works. All right, let's put that. I need another easel. All right, I'll just look at it at an angle. And let's have at it. Now, one thing I will tell you, if you're looking at your picture on your monitor really large, I tend to look at it really small when I'm drawing. Like I'd say not really, really small, but I'd say right now on mine, well, let's see, it's about like 6x8 on my screen. And I have a 21-inch screen, so I could make it ginormous if I wanted to, but I think it's better just to look at it smaller, the way your eye can encompass the whole thing, rather than looking at details. You'll get too lost in the details. So remember to give yourself a little bit of extra around the outside there. A little bit of extra paper for framing and such. A 1/2 inch to an inch is good. And I'm probably going to work into this composition, so I'm not sure that's actually going to be my real. So if you don't know what it is, and if you don't want those lines there, just kind of take them up. What you can do is just go like this. I hope you can see this. Yeah, you can. Just make yourself a couple of little crop lines around there, like that. Just do it on the. And that way you know where to go. Something like that. And then you can just erase out your lines. And it doesn't mean you have to end up with these crop lines, but it gets you thinking about your borders already. All right, now I'm going to give myself, I'm going to start with my big L shape around there. And I know we determined we wanted our horizon line a little bit higher than, let's say, that brown on the building. So I'm going to guess it's around there. If you're a little off, it's okay. So I'm going to guess it's about, we'll just put a point. That'll be my little point. And that way I can just go like that for the building, that for the building. over there. And do you always need to do that? No, but it's a good practice. Like, for instance, these rooftops will point to this. And as you go up, a lot of these balconies and stuff will point to this, so this should probably be up a little bit more. And this right here should point down to this. So these lines are generally going to here. In fact, all the lines that are going along this side of the building would go to this point. And oftentimes I'll just put a box around where I want my person to be, or something that's kind of complex. And I'll just look at it to see if I like how big it is in position to everything else. We got a car in the background. And like another car. Big doorway. And anything else. I love how these little signs kind of pop out and catch a little bit of light. Those are great. You wouldn't believe what those little things can do to a painting. They break up all the monotony of all this shadow. And also, for instance, look over here. We've got this little balcony right over here. That silhouette's up against this light on the building over there and gives you all kinds of, what we call eye candy, right? Just stuff for the eye to be dazzled about. Please tell me I'm recording. Okay, good. I was just looking at that going, oh, I just got that feeling, oh, I get so lost in what I'm doing. And all right, things like that. I mean, in the end, these pipes and these telephone wires, look at the telephone wire, the shadow is down here. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with all this stuff. It's completely amazing. And we have the same stuff right here. I mean, you don't have to go to Cuba to see this. Just go downtown LA. I know it's kind of funny and it's kind of not so funny, but it's true. I mean, I see this stuff down in LA all the time. And I love a lot of the old architecture, all deteriorated. I mean, I know it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it's wonderful stuff to paint. Run down, dilapidated buildings are just amazing. They're so fun. All right, there's that. Let's see here. Our building about, we'll say our balcony's around that big. Maybe that person's a little tall, huh? Something like that, with a little shadow underneath. So now let's just put down a few big things like, of course, this green, this aqua, and our door. I'll just estimate it comes up to about there. And the girl walking around, let's see if that's the sidewalk. Maybe she's around here. See now if I would have done this before, I put him right under her or right above her, if I would have just done this, it would be a lot easier to place things rather than having to move it later after I put some detail into the drawing. So it's a good idea just to throw in some big areas of where you know things are going to be approximately and the size, and then come up and shape it up later. That arrow is kind of interesting. We have the underside of the balcony, and then the shadows coming down to about there. Another door over here. Interesting. You see the architectural detail up there on the wall? I didn't even see that. Wow. God, these must have been very elaborate Spanish architecture there and up here. I'm getting kind of a little thing on the wall, a little emblem, whatever you call it. Who knows what's above it? Wow. And I see a lot of this around Pasadena too, the same motifs. Court building, City Hall, a lot of the same things. And let's see. Neat looking shadows. Sometimes I just paint them in instead of drawing them all out. I like to know about how big they are. Just a kind of a contour drawing here. See, all of these little blocks that I'm putting in here, I mean, there might not be much up there, but you could just let big washes just spill around in those and oh my gosh. It's where watercolor shines. Square that up a little bit. We got I think maybe my balcony is not that big. And got him up here. He just kind of fits into a shape like that first. And then I paint the negative shape. Remember the negative like that. You wouldn't believe, you put a couple of shadows in there, a couple of colors, and boom. Oh, shadow coming off the side. No sense in putting a hyper amount of detail into that. And if you give the people too much detail, they don't look like a part of the landscape. You know, they look like the whole landscape's there to feature them. And that's fine, you can do that. But I tend to like to make them part of it. Part of the scene. Like they are the scene. So I'm just going for an outline of the girl right here. That's about all the drawing I do. Just generally an outline. Yeah, you can really see where I went into her. I just left the dark ring around her. Maybe he's a little bit bigger. Okay. Here's the side of the building. Yeah, it kind of turns the corner there a little bit. We've got our architectural details. Those are really neat. All over downtown Pasadena, too. So fun to paint. And you know, you can do quite a bit of drawing with your brush, so I could have moved those over a little bit more, huh? I think it's okay. Right, and they've got I love those shadows everywhere and the telephone lines going everywhere. So, you know, a lot of times too, I'll do the telephone lines with my pencil. You know, I think that balcony should come out further. I just take that up and I had this line right down to my little point there. There we go. And there's the edge. And then it just kind of goes around, and then this one on the other side, you can barely see it. Does the same kind of deal. You could, you know, for things like balconies and whatever, like all these lines, I don't bother painting all those in. But if you want to, you can just do what I just did, and that'll show through in your painting, and then you've pretty much got it solved. We've got some of these telephone lines. They're just everywhere. Let's see what else. Oh. Shirts and things, laundry, any way you want to do it. Blowing in the wind a little bit, possibly. They're on a line, so maybe they would, follow suit there. I wasn't thinking about that. He's got something in his hand. Kind of important. A neat little shadow coming off the side there. And maybe these follow another line kind of going like that. Interesting little stained glass windows or whatever that are in this door. And I like the plants coming off the side. You could do anything you want with those. Get some bougainvillea on there or whatever you like. We have the shadow too, so I'm sorry, we have the sidewalk here. So let's just say the sidewalk comes about like that. And then I just round off the corner. And we got all these gorgeous shadows. I like to take them right up. So they go, on the ground, they're doing this, They're doing the zigzag this way. But up on the building, they're doing this. Kind of a vertical thing because they're on a vertical surface. So as I put my strokes down there, sometimes all I do is this. I'll just put a couple of little vertical strokes like that, just telling myself where I want to put them. And then when I put down my strokes, I don't really follow this, but it was just an indicator. I call those indicator lines. I don't know what else to call them. Yeah. That's good enough. Certainly could draw on this all day. Put a little darker around these little things sticking out. Signs and such. And, I'm going to throw in some blue for the sky. Same color. And I'm going to take that right up and over my lines. My outside border lines. That way I have a lot of play. I can see I take this right out and over all this. For framing purposes. Giving yourself lots of play. You wouldn't believe how many times I've done that. And I didn't have the right size mat. But then I just went up to another size because I had so much more around the outside, and sometimes I'll mess around with the painting along the edges, and it looks just like I meant it to be that way. That's when I didn't have very much time to get ready for a show. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Ran out of napkins. Okay. And like I said, we could throw in some colors on these buildings here before, and we'll just let it all dry up, and then we'll come back and glaze in shadows over it. So I can come back with a crazy orange, like such. Whoops. Cad red, cad yellow. On a building. It almost doesn't even matter whether you get it perfect or not, you know. Like if a little bit of it bleeds over there, who cares? It's the spirit of watercolor. I've got a blue building right next to it. Whoops. That's got a lot of water in it. Oops, it's bleeding right into my orange. Yeah, I'm going to take this right around these signs too. Maybe some yellow over here. It could happen. Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. We get that crazy lime green at the top there. Oh, what fun. That's Prussian and lemon yellow. Oh, fun. I'm a little bit on the green side, but I don't hate that color. Paint it right into the shadow. Just paint the whole thing. Yeah, it is very similar to the sky. It doesn't pop enough, so. And I may have to take another glaze over my sky to get that one to. Oh, it's pretty light, isn't it? Let's see. I could have got darker with my sky. That's one of those things where I'll probably come back to it later and see if I need to tweak that. I mean, there's the question of, does it look like the photograph? And then there's the other question of, do I care whether it looks like the photograph? What I care about is the painting. Okay. While that's drying, let's throw some brown down here on the building. red, yellow, and blue. Cad red, cad yellow, ultramarine blue. That's kind of wish it was redder than that. Certainly doesn't matter if it's all chipped up. You know, here's another problem. She does kind of blend right into that, doesn't she? You know what I'm going to do here? Color theory. I'm going to take that color and add blue to it. See what I did? See how I cooled that color off? I added ultramarine blue, just more of the blue to this. And I'm going to cool this color off. And I'm going to darken it a little bit. So she's not only a little bit lighter than she is, but she's also a little warmer than the background. And those are things we do all the time that nobody has a clue about, except for artists. Artists see that you've done that, and they'll tip the hat to you. Or they'll growl at you. I wish I would have thought of that. All right. I'm going to go for some of this aqua over here now. I just want to add a little bit of yellow to that, lemon yellow. Very little. Got some big white areas on there too. Maybe I'll just... Maybe zap it a little bit here. I just threw a little bit more lemon yellow in there. Don't even know why. Okay. Now, I know this, the door here is very similar to these colors. It doesn't have to be. I mean, maybe you could add a little bit more saturation to it if you like. Can always glaze that down and make it look less saturated. Remember, by the way, I have that orange. Remember, we were going to put that orange up here. Ooh, here it goes. Shh, crazy. Maybe a little bit more yellow up in here. And whatever color behind him, whatever you like. I mean, it's kind of bronze. That's a good place to start. It's kind of rusty too. Now we just make it green. Prussian blue and let's say cad yellow. Wow. Then maybe add a little bit of red to that. Let's see what that looks like. And then float any color you like in there. I mean, we'll probably cover up a lot of that, but that was kind of neat. I think we're dry over here now. I'm going to make up that magenta color out of, I'm sorry, that like a blue violet out of magenta and violet. If you want to augment that color any, just add slight amounts of yellow to it. That'll gray it. I'm not adding any yellow to it. Okay, I've got this, little parts of this are in shadow. All this over here, I'll just pull way out. And just trust in the watercolor that your colors will show through, and they will. Unless they don't. And then they won't. Yeah. My philosophy on everything. Guess I could have hit some colors on these cars too. Oh well. Live and learn. Shadows on the ground. If anything, that's a little dark. Yeah?
I'm a little bit behind. How did you make this beautiful color you're using now?
Oh, that's just ultramarine blue and magenta. That's all I used. By the way, I just threw a couple little water spots in here. I'm going to get some little blooms in there. Ooh, they're going to be fun. So yeah, that's how I make it. And then these ones on the ground, I'm putting down very horizontally, knowing full well that when I go vertical on the wall, I'll do that with my strokes. And you can even see them as they go up the curb here. See how they go up the curb and they go vertical? See? How they do that on the curb and then they go horizontal again? And then they go vertical. I wouldn't believe it. It really does make a difference. I just brought mine up on the side here too, I think. Did I do that? Oh, I didn't do that in the other one. That's what I'm gonna do. Kind of looks too balanced though, doesn't it? Maybe I'll bring some more over her. And right up and over all this. Oh, cool, I like that. Didn't even know I was gonna do it. I love it when a plan comes together. Even if I didn't plan it. That's called lucky. You know, and these edges probably won't be as hard as all this. So, you know, because they're far away from the trees that are casting those. So let's just take a little water while I'm thinking of it and just go around these edges. Soften them up a little bit, even down on the ground. It's okay if they're not perfect. There we go. See how that kind of got beat up right there? I love that. I love a beat up water. I love a beat up painting. It just screams experience, life experience, you know? You could do whatever you want with the shadow. You could just keep it kind of vague. But I tell you what, if you throw in a little bit of yellow in there once in a while, just not too much, but watch, see? See, just a little bit of yellow, kind of breaks it up. Really, we've got the red and we got the blue and then we got the yellow. And now I'm getting all the little water spots. Oh boy. It's fun time now. We're going to use that same color for all this stuff. And now I was going to throw in something up here. Let's just do that now. Maybe they're just stuffing it up on the top. And these actually will be fairly sharp edged because they're pretty close to what's casting them. You can bring that down a little further. So that kind of keeps your focus in. Oh, I have a little shadow over here. See, I just, if I have it on my brush, I'll use it. See, there's one on the background building way off over there. I mean, if I have it on my brush, I will use it. I'll look for other areas where it's there. So it's almost like you're not looking at things, you're not trying to represent things, you're really using these as really a kind of a mosaic in a way, a pattern sort of mosaic for throwing down color. That's the way I look at it. That's why I'm darting this color all around the piece, working it all up at the same time, because I'm not looking at people. I'm not trying to paint people or guardrails or clothes. I'm just using the color of them and the form of them to throw down color. It's weird where your head's at, but where your head is at, it makes the whole difference. Okay, let's see now. Oh yeah, the shadow down here. I go, again, a lot of that violet color. It's kind of blue, isn't it? If you're going to put some plants in there, just leave yourself a little bit of a void. Like if I want some plants right here, I'll just, just give myself a little area where they could come in. Oh, I painted red over it, dummy. Whoops. No problem. Oh, I painted red over. Oh, there's my architectural details. Ooh, I didn't want to mess those up. I like those little notches that kind of come out there. I had a really good dark under those later. That one. Okay. Hey, right off the page. I should have taken this green right off the page too. All this. Didn't think about that when I did it. Okay. And here too. It's easy to miss these, and then later on when you're framing, you're going, God, I wish I would have painted that in there. Okay. I'll show you a trick here, because if you wanted to see the gouache trick we could use here on the building. Watch, I'm going to paint this building relatively dark. Some blues. You don't have to do this, by the way. I'm going to do another trick. Remember what I had in here? If you want to paint this on there, I'm going to end up with something like this, but I'm going to use gouache in here. So if you don't have gouache, you're going to end up with this being the same value as your shadows. So leave it light and do this, okay? But you wanted to see a little gouache trick, some of you, so I'll show you how I can make the paint flake on there a little bit. So I'm painting it really bright, if you notice, and dark, which might be counterintuitive, but I'll show you. Actually, it looks kind of good like that. You don't have to put it everywhere. And I'm going to throw a couple of little yellow things in there too. Isn't it gorgeous the way it is? Sheesh. Hate to mess it up. I like a dark building. All right. And let that dry. Let me hit a couple little yellow guys in there. Let that dry up. Up in here, I'll just do this like I did the little comp, and paint this sort of a, with all that lime color in it, yeah.
How'd you get that lime color?
This one I just kind of had some, well, I'm using dirty water, but Prussian blue and lemon yellow. But you know, if you do that like that, it'll come out like this, really strong. So I would gray that by putting just a subtle amount of red in that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Just mix it in a little bit more. I've got all these colors of t-shirts, which you can use any color you like. Now, if you notice, my value of the building is basically the same value as my shadows now. I love that little ring around the shadows. Those are great. Now here's the gouache trick. You take pure white gouache. Watch this. I'm just squeezing it out right on there. So if you have some, try this. You might like it. I'm going to spread it on with a hard brush. You can use any brush you like. But I'm just going to get this on there. I'm getting it, you know, I'm not getting too thick with it. Oh boy, we don't have a lot of time, do we? I'm gonna have to break out Mr. Hairdryer. You know, I'm not gonna do, well, I'll just do this part and that's it. That is really thick. Put a red around her head. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself here and hit it with a hairdryer. Just for, you know, because I don't have any time. I would actually, if I were doing this though on my own, I would probably use a hairdryer too. Okay, let's see now. Okay, now And hit it with some color. I actually have gouache right here. I don't know why I'm not using. I'm using my watercolors and ruining them. That's gouache. And I have green. And yellow. And blue. I know you're kind of going, what? Are you out of your mind, Rob? Well, I think we already know I'm out of my mind, so that goes without saying. All right. Okay. Gonna hit that with a hairdryer again really quick. Now I'll hit just pure gouache again. And move that around. Nice and thick. I'm adding a little bit of water to that now, just very little, just so it moves around a little bit better. Okay. So if you really wanted like dilapidated, like I'm saying, like on a windowsill or any old industrial building or this. This is a great subject because everything's dilapidated. All right. And see how you get all the little stuff that happens around the outsides? They're great. Okay. And hit that again with a hairdryer, and this is. Now what you do is you take a razor blade or some sandpaper. Do I have sandpaper? I should. And just about everything else around here. You know, it's probably just under something, as usual. Watch this, Zoe. Come back and see. See? Mm-hmm. Dilapidation. You can go into that. Try to scrape in different directions. You can get that kind of look. I mean, people used to pay me to put faux finishes on their. I did a faux finish in a Beverly Hills dentist. I did stuff like that. It was funny. So you can just keep messing with that. And then, when you have the kind of surface the way you want it, you can glaze into it if you like. But it's that overlaying of gouache. Over stuff, under stuff. Get like 5 layers going if you like, more. Even more. Some people even run it underwater. I mean, if you wanted to do a whole gouache painting that way, I certainly know all these tricks. They're a lot of fun too, but they're not technically watercolor. And by the way, you know, now if I wanted to tint this color now, I could just come back in with a little bit of that, see, and just. The key is it's gouache, right? So it's gonna be water soluble. So if you keep going over this twice, it'll just all turn to mush because you're mixing all the colors together. So if you notice if I'm adding a little bit of color to it, like that, I can get. You know, I'm not really going over the same one twice. So. Just to let you know that that's a fun thing to do, experiment with, play with. I don't know the name of that technique. I know that Dwight Harmon was this great teacher at Art Center. And he taught us all. We had this class called Media Experimentation, and that's what we did. Oh, I would love to teach that class. Wouldn't that be a great class, huh? Media experimentation. Oh man, I know, because I took it so much further when I designed all those sets. Just playing with the ends of my.
So Rob, what is it? It's using different mediums or media, or like what? Like watercolor and oil and acrylic? And
Oh yeah. Media experimentation. You can mix any mediums, especially the ones they tell you not to, like acrylics and oils. I have done things with acrylics and oils you wouldn't believe, and I learned them from these master set painters and on the job too, as well as at school. But I will tell you, our art center really taught us quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit myself a nice dark underneath this balcony here. Really dark. And maybe just add a little water to it here, just let it float out. I do have a little white on my brush, so. It might cloud things up a little bit. Some more of these darks behind him. I went a little bit, well, quite a bit redder. Why not? Maybe hit something dark back there. And now that we have all these, now that I have this dark on my brush, I might as well hit the top of this window sill or this door. Kind of got a neat little molding up above it.
Rob, is everyone muted? There's a whistling sound and truck sound.
That's
I've
Rob.
got this stupid blower right outside my. Every Wednesday he likes to come in. The gardener. Sorry about that.
Maybe you're whistling.
I whistle better than that. Sorry about that noise. Not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately. I could yell at him, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm going to paint her a little lighter. This lady, I want to paint her, I was thinking of it a little bit. Now he's right outside my window. I mean, could you imagine if I said, could you stop that? I'm trying to have a Zoom meeting in here.
It's no problem. No
He'd probably
problem.
look at me and go, sure thing, buddy. And I got a place where you can put that paintbrush. No. Maybe this lady back here. No. Things like that. Even him as well. I'll just start them all off kind of yellowy orange first. Let that dry up. You know, if you keep it kind of loose like this and textural, you don't have to get every little noodly thing right. You just want general things right. It keeps the spirit of the painting going. And also, remember I was saying we have a couple of little architectural details in here. Kind of a thick, want a thinner line than that. So you put this over this textured stuff and it gives it, kind of validates it or something, I don't know. And anything you wanted to put into the door, I mean, I'm not going to I don't have time, but some of those little doohickeys. You know, doohickeys, thingamabobs. All acceptable art terms. Okay. And I would use these squares, put any color in there you want. Who's to say somebody didn't paint it out and put a color in there? I mean, after a while, you see that you could do just about anything you like. And the color of asphalt, isn't it? It always throws me because you think in your brain, you know, it registers as black. But it certainly is not black. Kind of a light orangey gray, like a warm gray. Something in these categories. And I don't know if they have red curbs over there. But I like to throw me in a big old red curb because it's a great way to splash some color into a piece. So I'll take a kind of make it kind of messed up looking. Certainly could scratch into it and throw a couple of black marks on it where tires hit it. That car over there, I missed. I mean, you could. Oh yeah, I missed that sign too. The sign with the arrow on it. Not going to get too specific with that. Now get this warm background. The lady's, I'll just put a shirt on her. Her shirt will stand out if it's like a darker blue up against that lighter warm. So I'll go with good old, what do you call it? Ultramarine. Gosh, that word was not coming to my head. Okay, and then her shorts maybe a greener color. Actually, white looks pretty good. So if you're going to throw, I'm going to leave her shorts white and then throw a little shadow behind it like that. As if she's just being lost and found into the shadows. Like we all are. Okay. Knock some of this color back here. Any kind of gray will do. Mine's kind of a violet gray. And then any kind of dark, you know, watch, if I pop a little dark in there, see at the tops, just kind of insets things. I always do it on every ledge, every sort of window or whatever. Like in here, I'll throw a little dark at the top of these and this and this and probably up in here. Maybe on one side a little bit. They're everywhere. Our little architectural detail there. I'll say most of the light's coming from the top and a little bit over to the left. Get a little shadow over there. That's all. Excuse me. A red shirt or any color shirt you like. A lot of white shirts up there, a lot of yellow and orange. And Some shadows. Shadows cast by the shirt onto other shirts. He's got shadow on him too. On the right side of him, etc. So does she. Maybe come back with some of these. Just tagging the tops of some of that guardrail there. Some of these phone lines, etc. They're going everywhere. It almost looks like they had an electric car system in there or something. There's certainly all kinds of other fun little details you could put in there. Any kind of window seals, though, are great. Just all this white right here needs to... A great area to splash any old color you want. Darks underneath the cars. And some of these recessed areas, just hit some dark in there. Anywhere you want. When I have these big, beautiful water spots, I don't know whether to paint over them or leave them. I think I'll just leave that one. She has red pants. Maybe a little shadow on her. Oh boy. What fun. Sometimes this stuff crackles on there and gives you, see what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of a shadow. This is it. I'm done here. I'll just, see what I'm doing? Hitting a little bit of shading under there. As if it's like chipping off the wall. I forgot that trick. So fun. Good enough. I don't know, dampen this area. Maybe over here. I'll let that sit for a little bit and put the Henry seal of approval on there. For those of you that are new, I use this seal. Henry, who's in the class, he makes these. It's my name in Chinese. So I will stamp it. But I'll do that later after. You don't want it to be wet, you want it to be damp. Fun. Okay. Take pictures and send them to me. Send them to my email. Oh yeah, some of you haven't done this before. That's cool. Just take a picture of it and send it to me. And try to get it to where it's going to come out like this. So I don't have to turn, because I can't rotate it in I don't know why. You think Google would be able to rotate a photo in there, but yeah, just do that. Just send them over to me. Anytime you like. And I'll start critiquing, and then you guys can work if you like, or work and listen. Let's see, where is everybody? Oh, there we go. All right, we got Charlene and Charlotte and Ethel. All right, that's enough for me to get started. So whoever's new, a lot of people work, but please don't wait till the very end and then slam me at the very end. Excuse me. All right, let's see now. You know, I had all these. I used my razor blade on all this this paint here, and then it got all over my place, and it looks exactly like the ash that's outside all over your car. I was like, how did ash get in here? Darn it, it's everywhere.
You know, Rob, I was talking to another artist, and we said, when we have to evacuate, we don't grab our personals, we grab our paintbrushes. Our sable brushes.
Yeah, guard them with your life. I know. Let's see. Okay, we got. Okay. In there. And there we go. Hey. All right.
I was very overwhelmed.
You were? Why? It looks good.
Well, it's just not very exciting. But
It's a good, you know what, maybe what you can do is just pop in some splashes of color here and there. You wouldn't be surprised. I mean, your composition is looking good. Your values are looking good. I would say if you're not satisfied, maybe it just needs more pop in the color.
yeah, punch up the color.
Yeah, and then, so what you can do is just like take some serious turquoise into this blue on this side, or some serious red into this door, or
Yeah.
you can still go over it. There's no end to these. And then remember my little textural thing, if you ever want to try a little gouache experiment.
Yeah, I don't have any, but I'll maybe pursue that.
Yeah. It works in acrylic too, by the way, because you can, but not quite as good.
Well, just the drawing itself is challenging for me. But
Yeah,
after your drawing class, it's gotten a little better.
yeah. I understand. I might take this shadow here and kind of bring it together a little bit more. See how it's kind of like right under the balcony. Should be pretty dark. I just bring that together a little bit more.
Okay, and punch up the colors.
Yeah, I know. I'm using black, so I mean, if you have a better color in dark, maybe you could throw in something like that, or
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
I don't have the right value. Mine come out quite a bit lighter, but yeah, I could say punching up some red in these areas.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now that I'm looking at it. Definitely, definitely.
Spicing it up with a little bit of that stuff in there.
Yes.
It doesn't take much. Really won't take much on this painting. See, this is all light up here, right? So I could come back and hit just something like that in there and just punch up the color in no time.
Okay, yeah, that looks better.
And you don't even have to hit it everywhere. You can just take it like in pieces. I mean, I see people do this kind of thing. It's really adventurous.
Yeah, it catches the yellow in the clothing hanging.
Sure. You could even hit a little bit in your shadows back here. Although the shadow looks pretty good.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. All right. And
My sister has to leave at 12, so maybe Charlotte, you could take Charlotte.
she's next. Yeah.
She has to leave.
Okay, Charlotte.
We're just, you can tell we're twins, right?
Yeah. You sound a lot alike too. Although I'm sure I could, after a while, I could see the nuances. But,
Yes, I think so.
wow. Okay, now this looks like a party on a page.
Well, I thought of Cuba and how it is down there.
Exactly, right? Mambo. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Lots of stuff. I don't know. What I mean is
It's a little out of control, but I love it.
Is it really? I mean, it looks perfect. I mean, very fitting for the subject. You know?
Yeah, it is like that down there, I think. And I had trouble with the black man or that man in the dark, but I just thought he'd be kind of a secret person down there.
Secret person, yeah. Well, he's silhouetting up against this light, which which is interesting because you made the guy up here silhouetting up against the light, and
Well, I wanted him to be the focal point with his laundry.
yeah, yeah. So if this man starts demanding too much attention, what you can do is just lighten him up a little bit and pat him with your paper towel, and that'll lessen the contrast, which will take off the focus.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I liked your, I didn't use it, but I liked your gouache demo. That was very interesting with the plaster.
Well, cool, thanks. Yeah, that's a fun thing to mess around with. It's not really what you would consider watercolor. It's a very loose interpretation of watercolor, but it is a water-driven medium. And there are just major things you can do with gouache and watercolor together. So, but this piece is just rocking. I mean, look at it. It's
Fun.
it's like looking at jazz,
Let's party.
like looking at Cuban jazz right there. You know? Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing really.
Well, thank you. It
Honestly.
was fun. Your demos are fabulous too.
Thank you. I like that big old signature too. Oh, that reminds me. I should probably.
I used to have one of those stamps from Chinese brush painting, and I just absolutely can't find it. It was Child of the Moon inscription in Chinese, and I just can't find that stamp anywhere.
Oh. Oh well. What are you gonna do? It'll turn up. You know, my daughter did. She cleaned up under her bed, and she's finding all this stuff. She goes, "Dad, here's a shirt from junior high school. I can't believe it. I never even wore it."
That's a long time ago.
I'm like, wow, how long has it been?
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ethel. Hey. This looks like a Hopper painting.
Really?
It does. It has that kind of a, I think it's the colors.
Probably. Looks a
But,
little,
you know,
I don't know, wonky. I can't, on the left side, I used dirty water and kind of muted all that down a little.
yeah, dirty water does a lot of tricks. I can't tell you how many times I've needed a color and then I reach in the water, clean out my brush, and I put it down and I go, wait, that's the color.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, well, this is cool.
Thank you.
Just has that, you know, because maybe because she's in that dress. You know, she's
Yeah,
a little more dressed up.
Dress, yeah. So. And then I did
Beautiful.
break out the gouache and added some little, very pale white in the brown.
Yeah.
So that-
Anything you're thinking of as far as edges go and texture?
Yeah, I was a little skimpy though on all the wires. I need more of those.
Yeah, they're fun. Sometimes I just throw them in with pencil. I just leave them in pencil, honestly.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Now it does feel like like this part over here is a little bit in light. So if
Yeah.
you were to, you know, you could throw in a shadow.
Yeah, that was also the dirty water when I've covered that a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
a little grayer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that gray. Yeah.
I
like
know,
that.
I really grayed it out there, yeah.
Yeah.
But so that would make it feel like, and then what I love to do is take a little bit of shadow, like a car that's half in shadow and half in light, like this.
Uh-huh.
Kind of cast
yeah.
it over it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's a trick. Yeah, it works. If you'll notice, I constantly are throwing things halfway in the light, halfway in the shadows. I love, like sometimes when I paint the old Rialto Theater, I'll have people coming out of the shadows and half of them will be in shadow and half of them will, it works.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it works. And I stole that from Sargent and a whole bunch of other painters of that era. I mean,
Cool.
they just love to play with light and see what it does. So, other than that, I mean, the painting's looking pretty darn good.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah, I just added the shadow.
Yeah. Those are some fun tricks. And then I put a little shadow coming in from the top. Sometimes I do that to direct the eye in. So
That's a good idea.
that's another trick. So, all right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And clear the drawings, and we have Francis. All right. Look at those colors.
The first thing I did wrong is I used the wrong line for the top of the railing. The railing should go all the way up to where the guy is.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't see that until I finished working, and so I just left it.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a biggie. What I usually do is just.
I already fixed it on mine here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take them up there and I'll just keep it really gestural.
Because that made me put the clothes too far down, you know, if I moved that up. So beginner's error, right?
You know, well, I'll do things like that, and then when I correct it, I just force it to happen, and it always seems to look right anyway. It's weird. Because and I should probably come up with a book or something that's called making things work. You know, forcing things to work when they're not working. How to force things to work, and so much of it is your attitude.
Yeah,
it is. You come in with an attitude. I know what to do here. I'm going to do this. Boom, 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 and
it happens.
And it works because you willed it to work.
Yeah.
So, weird stuff. Okay. I love those colors. They're really, really fun and festive. Now I could definitely see over here. Let's see. Maybe
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I wouldn't use this, but I might use something like a violet or something, but and it'll kill some of your color, but you'll have a really, really transparent looking shadow. So,
Okay.
yeah. And what else? Yeah, you have plenty of detail. You don't need any more detail. I think of things like staging. Like, for instance, maybe your shadows down here could be a little darker.
Okay.
Kind of spotlights it a little bit. Now, your perspective is a little severe.
Yeah, I did notice that.
So just remember, like, for instance, if these lines are going to there, and that, let's see, if your point is somewhere, and that all looks great. If your point's about there, then this, from this corner right here, this will go to there.
Okay.
So just take that out and just take this color right here, right over this, and that'll solve that problem. That's not a big problem.
Okay.
Small little perspective things, just a little more drama. Yeah. You got plenty. You don't miss the detail. Yeah. Here's another thing. If you have a computer, just go like this for this guardrail. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Look how fast that is. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I got to have my fun. Okay. Toby, hey, nice one. Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you tried my little textural thing there, huh? Yeah, it helps to have a hairdryer.
Yeah, I didn't have gouache. I already somehow got into it, so I just had white watercolor, but I don't know.
Yeah, like Chinese white.
Yeah.
It'll work. Yeah. Oh, cool. Now I might take a little bit of this, let's see, a little bit of this shadow over here. Maybe give this a front.
Oh.
To this building over here or something. Not a big deal, but just so so this is catching the light and this is going into shadow.
Great, that looks much better.
Yeah, I just throw a little, like you did here. Maybe not that dark though.
Yeah.
A little lighter so it feels further away.
Okay.
And this feels great. Splashing your color on there. Oh, I forgot to put my green plants coming down the side, darn it. I have to throw them in. And they call this painting attitude. I really do mean that when I say painting attitude. It really is a term. I'm not saying you have a bad attitude or something, but no, but your painting attitude is really loose and free. See all this?
Yeah.
It allows you to get away with stuff you couldn't get away with if you were tight. See this area right here is a perfect example. How you're all loose and free and just letting the paint. I notice usually you're doing a lot of this kind of thing.
Right.
You just decided to group things a little bit more today, or?
Yeah, there was a lot of paint to put down.
Yeah.
The dots didn't work.
Yeah. I see you're trying to do a few over here, huh? No. It would definitely will work on the t-shirts. Let's see.
Yeah.
And maybe a little shadow under her. Just a little bit on the ground, and maybe, yeah, you got a little bit on her, yeah. Little bit, yeah, like you did here. That's great. A little bit of shadow under the people. Other than that, I think it looks really good. And any sort of details you want. And you can definitely come into these doorways and hit all kinds of dit along the sides like you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they have that little detail up there. Any of these can really. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, great, thank you.
Good. Okay, thank you. And Deborah. All right. Nice handling of the paint, nice and loose. everybody. Deborah's one of my old students from a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah,
From,
I've added a lot more, Rob. I just wanted to send it to you right away. I started putting in shadow and,
Yeah.
but I
That's
just
fine.
wanted to, or your observations at this stage.
Well, your laying of your colors looks fantastic. More shadows, as we know, on her, down on the ground below her. Let's see. Yeah, some shadow from this person, maybe just a little bit. I might go with something blue, like
Yeah.
you're already using. Yeah. Yeah, this all looks great. Gather up all that shadow. Sometimes I'll even cast a shadow from something could be casting a shadow over the bottom. Sometimes I'll do that. If I have too many gaps and I want to bring things together, I'll do that kind of thing. I do a lot in alleyways and such. Right. And your sort of mosaic of t-shirts will be fine. I might even take this blue right behind here and then just take this
Yeah.
guardrail right over it.
I like that. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And yeah, and then you're ready for your darks. Yeah, you're getting into those darks now.
Yeah.
But even see what I'm doing here is within your dark, you
Yeah.
can still hit some good color. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll hit it really dark first, like really dark first. And then I'll come back and hit something else in there. Just to give it a little color. And
Yeah. No, those are great suggestions, Rob. I'm really enjoying the class, by the way.
Sure. Thank you. Well, I'm glad.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. And Claire. Oh, you did the, that's right. That's fine. Cool.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there weren't a whole lot of shadows in that piece, were there, or not? I'm not sure.
Not a whole lot, no.
But oftentimes, what you do is if you hit some shading like underneath things like this at the base, kind of see how it nestles it in.
Yeah.
Kind of nestles things in. So I might do it even on the right sides of these. I might hit a little bit, or like you did a little bit in the recess of the door.
Uh-huh.
Windows too. Maybe not really dark and hard edge, but something in there.
Yeah.
Get that to feel little dimensional. And again, sometimes what I'll do is if I have a big wall, that by the way, that wall looks great. I love all of it. So now you don't have to do this, but sometimes what I'll do, like in the background or whatever, I'll cast a little bit of a shadow back there.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a wall or something casting a shadow, and so like for instance, if this is exposed brick and this is stucco, you may get a little bit of a shadow in here. So up above, and so I those are some things I might think about.
Okay.
Even underneath this the terracotta roof, you may get something.
Oh, I see in the little shadow left.
Yeah, something possible. I'd look for it and see. You wouldn't believe little touches can really help on a piece like this. Yeah, I love all this stucco. Did you get into some of that gouache? Looks like you did.
I did, yes.
Oh yeah. And so even any place where the stucco might be, where there was wall, let's say in this case, if the light's coming from the right side, you may get some stuff.
Shadow along the yeah, I see it actually.
Little things like underneath, and mine's a little large, but I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, it has some depth.
Yeah. So, and your design's pretty impressive. It's this very, very dynamic sort of, a lot of diagonals in that design.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah. Oh, I love little hidden corners. I got a couple of places I'd love to take a class. Unfortunately, we blocked the parking lot, but I can show you some parking lots that are just amazing. I have pictures of parking lots where you have something like this, and then it's just, I took the picture right when a whole bunch of pigeons were flying through, and just,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just magical. So anyway, yeah, I think this is great. Anything else you want to do to it?
Yeah, it's, I didn't really like the gray color so much, so I tried to put in other colors that I liked better. But I'm not sure they work together as a whole. That's the part I'm not sure about.
Oh, I think your colors work just fine. These white areas, do you want to leave that white, or were you thinking about putting in some other color?
They were pretty white.
Oh, they were, okay.
In fact, it's hard to tell where the paper ends. I mean, it's a very, very, very slight
Oh, okay.
shading, but almost not visible.
Yeah.
So that will,
You certainly could smack some color here and there if you like.
yeah,
Just really,
that's true.
What I'll do occasionally is just really hit a few, because what happens in watercolors, the paper gets wet, and it even if you put down a pretty saturated color, it might desaturate it. So I might come back and just with like, even if you put a little yellow over your orange, it'll resaturate it.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a little pop here and there,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
a little spice.
Yeah. Yeah, variation. There is variation.
Yeah. Other than that, looks pretty darn good. Love it.
Good, thank you.
Needs a guy sitting down right here, right?
Yeah, actually, have
Up against the wall
something.
with a big old hat. A big old, I don't know. This is much
yeah.
I don't know. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
And let's see here. We got Diane. Hey, Diane. All right.
Hi, Rob.
Hi. Nice color, nice composition.
I was afraid to do those shadows way up at the top left.
Oh, yeah?
Was afraid, but maybe I'll go back in later. Yeah.
Now this is the other look. You taped this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's now if you're going to tape that and you're working in a preconceived mat, just make sure you know that this is maybe a ½ inch to a ¼ inch away from your mat, and that'll frame really nice. It'll be your picture, and then a little bit of the white of the page, and then
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know if I taped it very square, but I just taped it.
yeah. Well, it presents nice, so it's a
Oh.
nice way to look at your work. All right, so you didn't forget the plants.
Yeah.
The balcony. I did. Yeah, I love the way this person looks back here, kind of lost and found with the stuff, and just part of the action, and that's the way it should look. Really rough and
Thanks.
not overly worked.
Better, I think better than my person in the front on the ground, though. I think, yeah. I don't know. I think I didn't do too well there.
What I did was I threw a little bit of shadow over her on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, I threw in a little bit of,
Oh, okay. I guess I was.
kind of grounded her a little bit. I don't know.
Okay. I'll look back at your recording. Yeah.
And then I brought a little bit of mine up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Let's see what else. Now this area begs for like any kind of textural stroke or any sort of color vibration. So
Yes.
you could certainly get away with smacking a little bit of popping a little bit of color in here once in a while.
Yep. Definitely.
Playing with little saturations.
Okay.
Anyway, very nicely drawn, very nicely done. Let's see. Yeah. maybe these shadows could be a little darker.
Okay. I think I need to go over everything a little bit. I wanted to get it in early enough to, so I could
Yeah.
have you critique it. But yeah, I can see where I really need darks and that guy in the window, I kind of need to fix. I need to fix him a little bit. Can't tell what he is.
I believe a little bit of shadow on the, just a little bit of shadow
Okay.
on maybe this side, underneath here and there, and pop a little color in there, possibly a little bit, like little
Okay.
bits of color in there.
Okay.
That might be too red, but yeah, it's a little too red, but and I would think saturation now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the main thing. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there we go. Okay, Jane, let's see. Whoops. You did the other one too. Let's see. All right, well, yeah, it was a pretty desaturated piece. Although, one thing I like to do in brickwork, and I like the way you handle this brickwork, by the way. This, all of these sort of here and there strokes. It's a great way to handle it. And coming back in with possibly I do the same attitude with my color. So
Rob, is that mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jane,
Sorry.
this is Jane, right?
Yeah, I had to leave for a minute, but here I am. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So I'll come in with the same kind of attitude with punching up a little color here and there, and reds, yellows, oranges, and just the way you sort of lose and find some of your bricks, and others you just let go. I love this. This almost feels like calligraphy over here on the wall. Which is totally great.
Right.
So, I can see little accents. That's all I'm looking for, here and there.
Yeah, it's a little pale.
Yeah, and they get that way because it's a watercolor. It's gonna even after it's dry, or it feels dry to you, it might still be damp, and it'll dry a shade lighter.
Yeah, sure
Good
does.
stuff. So I can see a little bit of shading down at the base of these, just to kind of sit them down and nestle them in there a little bit.
Right.
And
I realize I've got my the verticals of the staircase need to come all the way down to the other side of the stair.
oh yeah, you stopped them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll make because if you pull them over this,
Right.
yeah, it'll make them feel more behind it.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe the other ones are shadows or something, huh?
Yeah. No, they should all go that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did another one. Did you see?
Oh, you did another one too?
Yeah, I sent the one. That was last night, and it should be right there in the same email.
I don't see it. Jane.
Didn't come in. Don't I see two things under my name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you put it in the same one. Okay, I'm sorry. You did all that today? Oh, you did one yesterday.
One last night and today's.
I'm gonna say,
I
wow.
was glad that you picked this one because I had already done the other one. Although we would have learned a lot no matter which one.
All right, this is cool. But how about next time? Just send me one, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
Just give me 1 minute. That's all I need.
You don't need much on this. It's pretty darn good. I mean, it looks pretty finished. See how hard your edges are, like around this door?
Yeah.
So sometimes when I have hard edges like that, I just try to, and I'm looking at mine too. I have some pretty hard edges on there. So I would probably just take a little bit of water, dampen the edge, and just kind of rough up some of your edges a little bit, so it'll feel more textural.
Right, right.
Dilapidated, yeah. And then I could see a dark in here.
I mean, up at the top.
Maybe a little bit darker in there, and then if you wanted to, you could try some of that, sure.
Okay, thank you, Rob. I don't want to take any more of your
Thank
time.
you. No problem. No problem. And if you want these doors to feel like they're a little bit more inset, just hit a little something along the edge.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Back there too. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a lot of thank yous, huh?
I know it's. Well,
Thank you, and thank you. All right. All right, that's fun and carefree, and I like how you interpreted this.
Thanks.
Wait.
I really just like the
Michelle.
door. I
Sorry.
really liked it.
That door is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a great door.
Now here's a case where you see how he worked from somebody else's photograph, but you interpreted this so much. There's no way that anybody could claim, any sort of. That's why I went and photoshopped this anyway, and I switched things totally around. But by taking things this much into your own interpretation, you don't ever run any risk of any sort of copyright infringement or anything like that.
Sure.
So you really don't. I mean, the law says you're supposed to change it. I read a really good article on this, but anyway, let me get into yours. Maybe I'll send you guys that article. Nothing we're doing in this class is even close. Anyway, cool shirts. It's got a great feel to it. Got a cool feeling to it.
Yeah.
Overall cool color. Great door. Love it. Just feels jazzy, feels fun.
Yeah, I was just kind of not into doing anything. What's the word? Careful is the word, I guess.
Very technical.
Yeah. So, you have those days when you just want to paint. I mean, maybe that's
I
the
do
way.
my best paintings that way, I gotta tell you. Sometimes I'm getting ready to do a big one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 30 by 40 waiting for me right after this class. But
What are you painting?
Marsha wanted me to do a big giant painting of the mountains.
Oh, okay.
But I got this great idea of what I want to do with the clouds and stuff over it. So anyway, are you having any issues with this painting? I'm not. It looks like a blast.
It was just fun painting. So it's one of those are there technical issues that aren't right? Yeah, probably. And so.
Not really.
So my dark line along the edge of the sidewalk, that should have been light rather than dark down underneath her. That should have been a light line, right?
Oh, I would have never even guessed on that one.
I don't know. But I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
It's not my typical thing. It's pretty watercolorish. That's what I'm trying to do. So this is what I'm trying to do, Rob. I'm trying to put a very loose thing on and then go back into the loose stuff to make it into something.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's always a great idea.
And so I'm trying to use my darks to give it form, and everything else is just wash, But so that's my attempt at that. Although, anyways, that's where I'm trying to head.
Yeah. Well, you're headed in the right direction. Yeah, throw it down rough. Basically, the way you want to work a painting is from rough to more technical, and from usually more saturated colors to more gray. So that's generally what I like to do is keep them more like that. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Thank
Jeez.
you.
You need a big bold signature on that one. Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, Marie. Wow, a lot of action going on in this piece.
Yeah.
Now, I like how you went with a darker color in there. I like that.
Oh, good. It's messy.
I think it's pretty. I like it. I mean, I like the action of it. It feels like, you know, like you're downtown. You know, lots of stuff going on. Your eyes are just going everywhere. And see this little piece of saturation over here on the very edge, this yellow?
Yeah.
I could see you hitting a little bit of that around the piece.
Okay. Yeah. There is a dullness to it, I think.
Yeah. I could see it. Maybe this. You know, occasionally, just come pop a little saturation here and there.
Okay.
Well, your architecture and everything really came out good up here. Wow. And your shadows, those are great.
Good.
Yeah, pop a little bit of saturation here and there. This looks great. Totally fine.
I think the shadows in the foreground kind of look more like waves than shadows from trees.
Yeah, put them down really, really horizontal.
Okay.
Really horizontal, but I think you'll be fine. If maybe it's on a couple of these ones like this.
Yeah.
Just flatten them out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely happens to me all the time. And I just come back into it. That shouldn't be a problem to fix.
Okay.
And I could see you even going a little more contrasty. Like, see this value right here? I can see you taking that value up and over here.
Okay. A little darker. Yeah. Okay.
Up and up. And then maybe a little bit of something in here. Not that big, but let's see.
Yeah.
Just to inset that a little bit. I didn't put any in mine either. Yeah, that's about it. Just come back and mainly though, I'm just thinking just a little bit of saturation here and there.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep a lot of your gray though. I mean, but a little bit of saturation here and there will be kind of nice. Like this sign right here signs are always a great place to smack some saturation. I use stop signs and curbs and things like that to really pop.
Right.
Really pop some color.
Color. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I hit the red on the curb just to just for that reason. Shirts are also a great thing. Yeah, you can go full on red on a shirt and people get it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Very nice work.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much.
A lot of action in that piece. Okay. And Betsy. All right, cool. All right. Nice looking work. Let's see. Let's see where we are here. I love this. I love this shot of color right down here in the bottom. That's great. You hit a lot of nice saturation on the wall. Now this person does take
Me.
demands a lot of attention.
Okay.
So that's one of those things. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take maybe part of it and put it in shadow, Like
Okay.
I'll take like a little bit maybe over the legs or something like that, or if it's demanding too much, it's because of all the dark behind it. And the more contrast you have, and the more saturation you have, the more your eye will go over that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to let you know that it is demanding a lot. Now, her casting a shadow onto the wall like that's a great idea. I love a shadow like that cast from somebody. So that's really fun. Aren't shadows great to work with? Look at this. You're playing with it all down the sidewalk and up on the wall.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
mean, it really makes a piece.
The only thing I didn't like is the blue at the very top with the shadows like from the roof, because it didn't make much sense to me. So I didn't know what to do with it.
Looks like it should be a little darker.
Okay.
Let's see.
Does it need to be like rectangular shapes or organic shapes? I was trying to figure out what am I shadowing? If it's
Yeah, if it were just a balcony and it didn't have this clothes coming over the top, then maybe it would just be this.
Right.
But you could pretend, I don't know, you could pretend there's like let's say clothing or
Yeah, that helps when it goes over the door over there. I think it helps a lot.
yeah, that usually works. Could be plants, like let's say for instance you have a balcony and then you have like things like plants coming over, if that helps.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
So it's a good looking color. This looks, I love this whole area right here is a painting all by itself. It's a really nice little piece.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I kind of struggled in that area. It got a little mushy for a while.
It's good. It's got it had soft edges, right? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they don't work out and sometimes they look like they look like this really nice. This is working. You got a nice soft edge shadow here and then it feels like this is casting this shadow, so you're getting that hard edge, which makes total sense.
To find you.
What was that? Oh, I heard something.
It wasn't me, sorry.
Other than that, it's looking pretty good. Oh, let's see. I like to take some of the things as if they're casting those shadows over other things, possibly.
Okay.
I didn't really get to get into that on mine.
Right, I should do more of that. Okay, I see, because I tried to. A little bit, yeah.
And then your plants could definitely,
Make shapes down there.
yeah, whatever you want to do with those. Maybe group them here and there. Lonely guy walking down the back. I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of moody. Yeah.
Moody, right? All right, nice looking piece.
You wouldn't add anything to the shadows in the front, just leave them vague like that.
You think it should be a little darker?
Well, I was thinking about it, but it'll start to compete with the one up on the roof, kind of. I don't know.
You mean it'll kind of start closing everything in?
Yeah, what do you think? I could make a couple more dark.
Maybe a little bit more,
Okay.
something like that. I wouldn't use this color, I'd use something more violet, but yeah.
Yeah, violety blue or something. Okay.
Violety blue, yes.
Yeah. And add a touch of yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have plenty of saturation, so I think you're fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Thank you. And Henry. Oh, I love the color you're using in your darks, Henry.
Thank you. Let me unmute myself.
Yeah, really rich. Rich color. I like how you blast that blue in the dark. That's a great one. Great move. I could see a little more dark underneath.
Okay.
Let's see.
Can you hear me? I think I muted myself.
I can't get it dark enough with that. Let me.
Unmute. Okay. Oh, sorry, Rob. I was unmuted.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were there or not.
I'm here. I tried to unmute myself. Okay. Yeah, this was. I tried to put some orange there that make it too light, I think. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just thinking a little bit, possibly a little darker right underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe this color and value that you're using there, that's beautiful. I would throw that in there. Yeah. So again, oftentimes I'll throw in a really dark, and then I'll come back over with a color. If I'm losing saturation, but your darks are keeping their saturation very nicely. So I think I might just hit a little of that in there. Other than that, I mean, you got a really nice looking piece here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Fun. I love your window here. This is great. What a great effect too. See how he pulled the little bits of gouache over the top of this? This is great. Feels like a cage in front of it or something.
Yeah, there's some metal door, like fence kind of outside.
Yep.
Okay.
It really caught the light on this guy here too. Now leaving the top of his head white like that was a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'll come back with a little gouache on the top of mine and rip you off on that one. Yeah, and you see the way he handled the lines, all the phone lines and whatever. No big deal, right? Just keep it kind of dry brushy. That's a great way to do it. Dry brush is a really great way because it doesn't scream, look at me, you know? It's just sort of a kind of a, I call it tying my composition together. I'll oftentimes use phone lines and things like that to tie things together. They're not easy to do when you've done all this work and you're going, oh, now I got to put this line over everything. Oh boy. But yeah, and the way you handled your t-shirts and everything looks great.
Thank you.
This is a very festive piece, yeah.
Your demo really helped. It was daunting for me to start with.
Yeah. Well, I think you got a winner there.
Thank you.
Wouldn't be your first one either. Now, one thing she does kind of blend into the door.
Okay, so it's hard to separate that. Make the door darker. Huh?
If you came into the door with something a little cooler.
Cooler, yeah.
You know, just to separate her from the door a little bit more. That's all.
Okay.
And just maybe in this area.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So just something to think about.
I try to use dark against light kind of concept. Yeah, cool against warm. Yeah, that will help.
Yeah. Yeah, dark against light too. Definitely, you know, something like that. And then maybe come back into it with a little bit of something.
Mm-hmm.
Help.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
I'm just looking.
Hey, mute yourself if you're not in a conversation, please. Just mute yourself. Otherwise, I have to get out of here and mute you.
Oh, my bad, Rob. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, nice piece.
Thank you.
Oh, Marie, Betsy, Henry, Luisa.
Hi.
Hi, Luisa. Here.
Yeah.
Cool. Now your piece has a lot of soft edges. Not a whole lot, but if you wanted to come back and crisp an edge, it's very easy to do. I think it's easier to come back and crisp an edge of where you're getting a lot of soft edges. Just let it dry and then come back over. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to clean up this edge right here.
Uh-huh.
Let me make my brush a little smaller here. Now you've got it there, and maybe it came out a little too soft edge, but if you wanted it to be a little more distinct, it's very easy to do that over something that's soft edged. I notice you can lay it all hard edges and then come back and soften. I think that's actually a little harder though. So.
Okay. I always thought hard edges are not good, that you always have to soften, but.
Yeah. So if you wanted to clean up an edge here and there, that's what I would do. And darks, you know, I think, I don't know if you need to get any darker than this, but I could definitely see, you know, maybe shooting in some color in there too.
Right.
Some blues and some red.
This was very challenging, especially the figures, like this indefinite figure in the window on the balcony.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't give them much. I know we get caught up into figures because they're people, you know. We feel like we have to do people right. But if you just paint them like you paint everything else, it just fits. It fits. It really does.
Okay.
And I think yours fit pretty darn good. I think I could see a little more shading on her though, maybe a little more saturation in her skin tones.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I could do that. Sure.
So just maybe a little bit more yellows, oranges, and reds in her.
Right.
Maybe something a little bit redder. And then when you shade it with maybe something kind of violet, I don't have that color, but just shade it off a little bit off to the right, side and underneath things like that.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, it makes it really stick out.
Yeah, and then the other, make sure you get something dark right underneath her, really dark. That'll make her feel like she's like the shadow usually starts off a little darker right next to the
figure. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I could have put some dark in mine too. That's generally what I'll do. My orange is a little, please don't make it that red and orange.
Yeah, right.
You guys got a sunburn, but
and I sort of gave up the other figure on the left, on the street and the cars. I just
you could come back in with gouache, or you could just, you know, honestly, I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a painting and I go, you know what, I muffed that part. I just put a shadow over it, and who cares?
It's not the focus.
And it just gets lost into the hustle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, this was challenging. Thank you. Lots of things to pay attention to. So it's it's great. It's great. You learned a lot about all kinds of things just with this one thing.
But not a whole lot of perspective in this piece, right? I mean, it could have been a lot more, right?
Right, but the way you explained it, how to do like the inclination of the buildings on the left, that was very helpful.
Yeah, I just look for main lines and I look to where they converge, and that's probably where that's basically where your vanishing point's going to be.
Vanishing point, yeah.
That's what it's called, a vanishing point. Yeah, I know this. I teach this. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I'd find the edge of your sidewalk. Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Thank you so very much. So I was able to hang out for the whole class. I'm so happy.
Great.
I'm in Laguna Beach, and sometimes I tried to escape LA.
Yeah, I went down there to escape LA too, and I got a whole bunch of people growling at me. But oh well.
Really? In any case, I'm happy here. So I'll see you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. It might have helped if I would have, if I would have wore my mask, and if I would have not been like 2 feet behind people, maybe I wouldn't have got so many growls. No, I'm just joking. Come on. Okay. Okay, there's Mitsuko. Hey, there's your style. That's your style.
Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you.
When we were talking about your style the other day with the self-portrait,
Right.
you know, you do this. You lose and find things, and you come back with line and solve things that way. I mean,
Yeah, I like doofy. Sometimes contour someplace and
yeah.
doofy. Yeah.
I love how loose your line is. See, when you put lines down like this in a piece, let me see. When you put lines like she did, like these down in the piece like that, and like this and whatever, the viewer just accepts it because you can tell that the artist accepted it as they were putting it down there. When you don't feel sure about what you're doing, let's say you're doing telephone lines and you're going, well, okay, here goes 1, 2, 3, and you put it down and you go, oh no, man. And you try to take it out or whatever. It usually looks forced, or I don't know the word, but so anyway,
Darker.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe a little bit of shadow back there,
Okay.
just to kind of lock that down. If you want to, maybe a little bit deeper under here. I don't know if you need it, but it's up to you. But it's definitely got your style, your way of, and I above and beyond all the rules and whatever, finding your style and understanding what your style is in the end, it's really the thing that defines you, because everybody uses the same rules, but not everybody. And we all use line, and but we don't do it all in the same way. So that's what you do. I don't know. I mean, how do I tell you to do more of your own style? All I can say is that this is the style that I see when I see, Mitsuko's paintings have this feeling to them. And you can't, it's hard to explain it with words, but it's easy to point to a piece and go, yeah, that's your style right there. There's just 100,000 little things you do. Well, by the way, I love this, the way you threw that little blue in the dark. That's nice. That's what I call this waking up the shadow. Or waking up my darks. Just give it a little spice. All right, beautiful work. Nice work.
Rob, I use gouache and watercolor. Both. Is that okay? Some colors I use gouache, some color I use watercolor.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's going to cost you extra. I'm just joking. No. It's totally okay in my book. Mm-hmm. You just saw what I did to my piece, so I have no problem with that. And even calling that a watercolor, I have no problem with, especially if you still maintain a lot of your transparent qualities. You've got plenty of transparent qualities in there, so it fits under the category of a traditional watercolor, quote unquote. But
I don't really care for traditional transparent.
Well, then anything goes. Anything goes, really.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, and I'm all for mixed media, so I'm completely for that. Please do. I love to see it. I love the way people do mixed media. Yeah. Okay. So we could do that in here. I have no problem with that.
Is the shadow front is too it's messy, too messy, or?
Well, I could see you bringing it together a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I would just go over the whole thing with a glaze.
Glaze?
Yeah. With a nice glaze, something that unifies the whole thing.
Okay.
And I wouldn't use that gray, although it actually works in your piece, but.
Yeah.
Those kind of colors, something in there. Yeah.
Great blue.
Yeah. Yeah, just something to unify it, because it has a lot of variation, a lot of lights. It almost feels like
Yeah, something there.
It's a little broken, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a shadow that feels like it's a little broken, that's the word I use in my head. Then I'll unify it with a harmonizing glaze, like that. I would just put together something that brings it all together.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okie dokie. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we got Alice. All right. All right, Alice. Nice looking piece.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Are you having any issues with it?
Well, you know, I like what you said about when you don't trust yourself. So in the beginning, I used the ruler on the left. You can see that building with a straight line.
Yeah.
And when I started using the ruler, I realized I was going back to my old ways. So I tried really hard to be more loose.
Yeah.
And then I had more fun, I have to say. Not be so worried about precision.
Yeah. Yeah. It adds to the loose quality. It
Yes.
adds to that fun watercolor quality. Yeah, I even see them in these watercolor magazines, you know, you'll see the artist got way too finicky with the drawing.
Yeah. And also with the people, the person on the left looks like they're closer, I just noticed that, than the person on the right.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
It could happen, but if you're intending for it to go into the background more, then, you know, make them a little bit smaller. And you wouldn't believe it. If you wanted to redraw that, you could definitely take that up and redraw it. On the other hand, I don't mind the way it looks. I thought you actually meant it to be that way because it is a little larger than the one on the right.
Right.
And you know, maybe a little shading in it. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's too dark. A little off to the right. I don't know if she's catching much light. If she'd be more in the shade or not. There's a lot. There's even this way of handling it. Let's see. Put her like she's in the shade,
Yeah.
so she doesn't, you know, detract too much.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's that idea. There's the idea of just erasing her and moving her up.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm not gonna. I've been working on people in between our classes
Yeah.
because I tend to get too specific. So I'm trying to just get the gist of the movement of the person. And like the person on the balcony, that seemed to come easier for me than the other two.
Yeah.
So the one on the right, at first I made her bigger than the door, and the door was too small. So I had to
Yeah. Big woman.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of things you have to keep in mind. You know, it's a lot going on.
Use this one up here as a good example of how to just keep it basically shape oriented, you know? Here's the thing, try to think of this. You're not drawing the person, you're drawing the shape of the person.
Yeah.
In fact, you're just using the person to draw shapes. When you think of it with that attitude, then what happens is you get more into the shape and you quit drawing the person and you get lost into the shape just in the same way you're getting lost into the shape of the door or the building or whatever. And it takes your brain out of that mode where you have to draw a person right.
Right.
And it usually ends up looking right. So.
Yes, they become part of everything else you're doing. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gosh, it's watercolor psychology 101. Psych yourself into the, painting. I don't know. It's true though. It does. There's psychology in everything.
Do you have any other suggestions? Did I miss anything?
Let's see. Not really. I mean, you could bring this green up if you wanted to. I don't know. Let's see. I could see here and there, maybe really splashing a little bit of saturation here and there in your color.
Okay.
Pop here and there, like you did over here. See this?
Yeah.
That's spirit. It's not. See what I mean? It's not that you're not doing it. I can see a little bit more in here, little tags of saturation here and there.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe even the brown down here if you like.
Sure.
By the way, I love this shadow you put on here. That's a
Yeah.
great looking shadow. Beautiful, delicate, and it works, and it gives you a diagonal in your piece, and it really nice compositional move, nice color, nice value. It just works.
Thank you.
Yeah, every once in a while, huh? You just dart them in there and they work. You have an idea and then you pull it off. That's the best. For me, that's why I paint, I mean, because they don't always work. So, anyway.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I really love this class, so appreciate it.
Thank you, Alice. Okay. Is that it? Because I know there's more. Where's Hector? Where's George?
Mine's coming, Rob.
Oh, okay. There's Shelley, yeah.
I'm just photographing now.
Okay.
Rob, this is Lynn. I'm not submitting one today.
Oh, okay.
I'm too far behind. I'll send you one midweek if you have a chance to look at it.
Okay. You can
Okay,
do
thanks. Bye.
Sure. Uh-huh. All right, so what should we talk about in the meantime?
Do you know what we're going to do next week? Do you have a thought on that?
You know what? I did write down some thoughts. Hold on here. You guys, thank you very much also for your suggestions. It really helped me. I'm going to go and find, I wrote it down. I wrote down a whole bunch of things I want to do this term. And I want you, oh wait, did I write this down yet? No. I just forgot where I put it. Okay, I put it under my Zoom files. Plein Air Wednesday. That would make sense, right? Plein Air Wednesday syllabus. There's this lattice work over in Huntington Library. Do you guys like to paint lattice? Like lattice going off into the.
Yeah, that was the featured piece with your Huntington class. That's the reason I came to your class last year.
I'd love to show you that one, right? Yeah, I painted that lattice in many different ways, but you're talking about the one where you're looking right up the corridor. There.
Yeah, the one featured. As advertised.
Yeah, and that would be a tunnel composition.
Yeah.
I got that one. There's the geese at the pond because we had a suggestion for animals and pond and water. So there's that.
Sure. That sounds great.
There's this geese down there. I took some great photos. I remember we all got great photos that day. That it was just magical. Some of you were in that class. Snow scenes, wildflowers. I got a shack on a pier, like an old lobster shack. That would be fun. Shoreline villages. But anyway, for next week, I was thinking that lattice work. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful subject.
Yeah, the rose patio. Yeah, I love the roses too.
Yeah,
is it that rose? It's kind of in the rose garden, right?
Yeah, right next to the rose garden.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, kind of in between the rose garden and the what's the other garden? The spices. Yeah, what do they call those? Herbs.
Oh, the herb garden.
Yeah, herbs. I don't know what they're called. Okay. Let's see now. All right, we got some more in. Let's see. Let me screen share. And here's Shelly. Hey, you're doing watercolor, Shelly. Are you doing gouache? Watercolor and gouache. God, that's nice.
No, just watercolor.
That's a nice looking piece, Shelly.
Ugh.
You know what I really like? I mean, I like everything, but one thing I really like here is this area back here. You did that really well. Gosh, look at that. Look, even the cars look great. And it feels far away, too. I mean, not that you had to, but wow. Yeah, that's a... Well, you got a lot done. I love these... what do you call those things? Those shutters or whatever. Yeah, broken shutters. Look at this area. Great, fantastic. Just enough architectural detail as well. Not too much. Love how you lost and found this area. It's got a lot going for it. And look at this over here. Near. I'd leave that in your piece. If I were gonna. I mean, I would frame it way out here.
I need to get rid of that person in the foreground walking.
This one?
Oh my God.
You don't like it?
No. The person up above on the balcony and the other one, they're all right, but that thing, oh jeez.
Maybe keep it a little more vague.
Yeah, it needs to be much more vague. It just did not work.
Kind of proud, huh? Like, I'm walking, I'm having a great day.
It almost looks like a big size suit or something. What are those blow up things?
Singing in the rain, singing in the sun, baby. Okay. No, yeah, I don't have a problem with this. Really, if you have a problem, think edges.
Oh.
Maybe loosen up your edges. Maybe pop in some serious color if you like. I mean, I'll come back in with some, like a red. Of course, red on red doesn't look all that great, but some shocking color if you like. I don't know.
I think that person had story to this painting, Shirley. I like it. I think he's like he's doing something. He's like, oh, he's got an attitude or something very, I don't know, storytelling about it.
That's funny. Well, thank you for finding something in there.
We'll call it the Walking Man.
There you go.
Like that James Taylor song. Anyway, nice work. Do you have any questions?
Well, I got a little.
Nicely done.
I don't really love the colors because I think the colors on the actual picture that you sent were so fabulous. But
I don't mind these colors.
anyway, that's
pop in bits of saturation. Yeah, I know the wall. I know the wall in that actual piece was lighter.
that cool, beautiful mint color. Oh my God. And I already had too much yellow on it, I think.
It almost looks like that or something like, or maybe over there, huh? Or a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's the other undercolor that sells it. I'm not really sure what happened, but anyway.
Now, watch what happens if we. Let me see here. Let me make this smaller. I can't. Can I make this smaller? Let's see. See, really small. See what happens? When you look at it really small like that, it's a nice little thumbnail sketch. I mean, it's got a nice little, lot of little things going for it. I mean, good values.
Thanks. Keep
come back in and mess with it a little bit. I would give it a little time first. Yeah.
Okay, good idea. Thank you very much, Rob.
Excellent drafting too. Wow. Yeah. All those years at Art Center is paying off. The drawing stuff is will really see, maybe you need more of this in there, huh?
That's what I
Kerpow.
that's what I need.
That pops, George.
Oh, I was going to say, is that George? It looks like.
Oh yeah. See, now how about that, George? How about that? It looks like a George.
Well, that's good.
I think that's the best. And I love your people dancing in the street, man. I mean, or this lady with her turquoise and her purse, just sort of like
Her opera purse, opera rose.
Yeah, she's strutting right along there. No, it definitely has a city energy to it. It definitely has an energy to it. You know, that's what everybody responds to. That's what I like. Have that energy, has that.
When you said make the cars like boxes, I took you literally.
I didn't even look. Yeah, I'm so amazed by the colors. The color comparisons are just great. Wow. And people, by the way, people in other countries, they seem to like color even more than we do. If you go to any sort of Latin country, they just go crazy over color. And by the way, in the north of Europe, like Northern Europe, like way up there in like Denmark, and they go nuts over color too. Like the orange right next to a blue in their houses. But anyway, yeah, that's got some great color in it.
I forgot to put shadow on the wall, the upper wall under the balcony.
Yeah, so maybe tag a little shadow in there.
Yeah.
Would you go blue with it?
Well, that's supposed to be the underside of the balcony, but there, yeah, I need shadow there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Some in here, maybe something kind of dark up in there.
Yeah.
And right, these will feel like they're drawn like just flat.
Yeah.
Until you put a little bit of something in there.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah. Maybe get quite dark on the top. Yeah, you hit some of these too. I just kind of bring them together a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like I like this. It's just got fun energy to it. Keep your energy the same. Just, if you want things to feel recessed, just throw a little shadow in, as if the light's casting a little bit of a shadow in there. That's about it. I mean, now these feel a little isolated. They don't feel so much like shadow until you kind of bring them behind, or maybe even up and over parts of the people.
Yeah.
That's another possible.
When I put the shadow on the street of the lady with the attitude.
Yeah.
I put the shadow on the street, it almost looked like her shadow. So then when I did the shadow behind the man, I was thinking of his shadow.
Oh, okay.
I could take it behind him.
Like these. So this feels like her shadow?
Maybe.
It's just something to consider. And just if you like it the way it is, just keep it the way it is. I mean, by the way, I was in Marcia's gallery and I saw your work I haven't seen it framed or anything, but I just saw your work there. I said, hey. So we talked about your work. You look great. She loves them.
Oh,
You gotta do more. You gotta do it.
Okay.
You can see that you're really into it, and that's what matters. I love your signature too. That's a really great signature. I mean,
that's the Henry's largest brush.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
It feels very much like this dignified man here. So, that's Raj. Taking dog out for a walk today. Enjoying the day. Very good. All right. It's got a lot of soul. I love it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Hector.
Oh.
Wow, Hector.
Yeah.
I think you better sign that one and put it in a frame. Holy bananas. It says Hector
I'm
all
sorry. I have a mow and blower right next to my house here.
Oh, yeah?
Well, this looks like an evening party.
Oh, that's okay. I understand. Believe me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The mow and blower was next to me right now, of all times. Okay?
I love this. I love this piece. I love it.
Thank you.
Now, you went pretty desaturated with it, and I love it.
Thank you.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I certainly wouldn't want to give you any. I just want to talk about. I love the way you went around all these shadows and found your edges that way, kind of carving your shadows out negatively. Pulling some of your lights out over the shadow like that to pull things. I think that's great. The way you did it over this cage over this looks really great. Very.
Yeah, I find that it's hard to get it in the first shot. It was a lot like what Michelle was talking about.
Yeah.
Getting different types of glazes or first, and then just keep going over.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Keep going over and utilizing what you put down and leaving some of it, and then finding another color and try. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I keep doing, and then I find that I can. I know where I'm at. It takes that long to know where you're at. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, in your style. Absolutely, you got the, it's got that calligraphy to it, and it's got very loose, very intuitive strokes going on. It's just very, very, very much in your style.
May I ask,
Yeah.
is this an evening scene? It seems to me like we're about to go to an evening party or something.
Oh, because of dark, a little bit deeper colors. I think it just looks like a more muted colored gray, more muted down day painting. But I see what you're saying because of the cool palette he's using. It looks more.
Right. I find it very cool. I don't mean this as a criticism. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Oftentimes when I do a cool themed painting, it'll look like nighttime. I don't know why. I guess we just associate those colors with nighttime. But
Well, that's why I left the sky there.
Yeah.
More or less. And the other colors are just random, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as the value is working, I didn't care.
Well, nice work. You're working on junkie paper?
Yeah, I am.
Well, it's working for you, so wait.
Yeah, I found it to be okay. I can
yeah.
I can work on it.
All right. Nice work.
Thank you.
Nice work. Okay. Suzanne. There you go. Wow, you hit those little pieces of saturation and they're bouncing them around, huh? Yeah, without just the without just the little bits of saturation you have a very unsaturated piece. But you came back and punched in a little bit here and there. I could even see you punching a little bit more in the red category here and there.
Okay.
Nice looking work. Nice looking work.
Well, it's kind of dull for how colorful I think of Cuba. It seems too dull.
Well, yeah, but now you can easily come back and smack a little saturation here, and smack a little bit in there. You could even in this. You could, if you want to, on this wall right here, you could just, go nuts.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Be easy. Just, what I might do is leave it alone for a while and think about it. Because this kind of move only takes a second, and you might want to live with it for a while.
Okay.
It's something I wouldn't, I'll give those choices time because they don't take very long to do. And it's a big choice. This shadow on the ground here, I might gather up. It's kind of speckled. And I know it is a dappled shadow. I know it is, but I could see something like that. Just bring that together a little bit. Also.
Okay.
And I noticed on Alice, she brought it down like that. She brought some of that in there. It really looked good. So.
All right.
Bringing it up on the wall is fun. I love shadows on walls, how they just describe things. This guy looks great. Wow. Yeah, and remember, the clothes are great places. If you're thinking about saturation, clothes are, they're just great places to smack. Really smack some color.
Okay.
So that's what you're looking for. Just a little bit more, like even in this green over here, if you hit a little bit more yellows and greens in it, or maybe if you want that aqua or something, maybe more blue in it.
Right. Okay.
Like that.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty.
Because you basically, the drawing is there. The values are there. It's only color. And you've got it pretty muted. I love a muted painting personally, but if you want to pop in some pieces of saturation, I would go in there and mess around.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice perspective too, by the way. Is that it, everybody? Did I miss anyone? I noticed a few of you, I haven't got your check yet. And that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you knew this was the first day of the next term. So you know. Let's see. But I got everybody, right? Let me see. I got yes. Okay. All right. Okay, then if that's everybody, I know Lynn, you were going to mail it to me, so that's cool.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Rob.
Yeah.
What about the private show at our center? Is that still going on?
Oh, you mean at the Creative Arts Group?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm having a show there, you guys. They want my watercolors and my oils, and they're going to do a little thing on me. So we decided to push that a week because of the ash in the air. It's just making it impossible to do anything over there. So.
But we'll be able to go in and see it, see your work.
Yeah, I'll have it up by the end of next week.
Oh, yay! Good. Yeah. Okay.
I'd love for you all to see it. So.
Oh, cool, Rob.
A bit more, huh? What was that?
Something we will be able to see online, or do we have to go in?
Yeah, we'll have them online, so you don't have to go in.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time they've ever done anything like this, so we're just sort of you know, it's like an online show. And then she's going to interview me too, and I'm not really sure how we're going to handle this, so we'll see. But I have a feeling she's going to put an interview of me, asking me some questions and whatever. Like,
Well,
what are you doing, Rob? No, what?
And she'll probably send a reminder for the date,
Yeah,
I hope.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. I really enjoyed this class and looking forward to the whole new series.
Yeah,
Bye, everybody. I hope everybody's fine.
yeah, I am. Thanks, everyone. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
Thanks, Rob.
I'll take the recording.
Thank you.
Usually takes an hour or so. So, all right. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you all.
Hi, all.
Bye, everyone.
Rob,
Bye.
Rob, it's Hector. I
Yeah.
will be sending you the money too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Rob, bye.
Thank you.